Morning, everybody. This is Deborah LaFaith, also known as my YouTube channel is Sweet Holy Justice. And God just put this on my heart, this message, because it just had me thinking how sometimes being in a conversation with someone can make you feel like you're walking through a minefield are going through a minefield. And here's a picture of a minefield that I saw, and it had danger mines. And here's a field, and the field here is covered in grass. You have a few things in there, but the bottom line is this field is actually pretty deadly because if you step at the wrong place, you have to be very strategic about where you place your foot and how much weight you place in a certain area. Otherwise, they're mines that are buried. They're explosives. So to be very specific, the definition of a minefield is an area planted with explosive mines where a subject or situation presenting unseen hazards. So anything that could it presenting unseen hazards where you have to be very strategic and there are things that can actually hurt you. So this minefield made me think about how certain things you could say can offend someone, like even in a conversation, interacting with somebody, and now all of a sudden they're going to hurt you back because they feel offended. So they're going to blow up and their reaction hurts you. So that's what also presenting this minefield, the significance of this minefield, not falling off of a short tree, not just simply breaking your leg, but damaging uh, injuries. So this made me think about this, how many times people will walk in offendedness. And what I mean by that, they're simply waiting for the slightest little thing to take offense to. Any little thing they can catch that they can use to get mad at you, they will take it. And honestly, if they have to find and be that nitpicky and catch something, they're probably not mad at you. They're just using an excuse to lash out from something else. But anyway, I used to be this way. I used to be angry. I was hurt and I needed healing. And so God healed me. And so I used to be like this to other people, to where I was so sensitive. I was overly sensitive. I would struggle with rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria, and struggle with it just a little, where I don't really blow up at people now, but the slightest little thing. What you mean by that? Do you see how he said that? Do you have see? You don't have to be all like that. And I've experienced this from others as well, so I know how it feels. Now, I don't believe I do this anymore. Prayfully not, and ask God to reveal it to me if I still do. But I know how it feels, and it does not feel good. It makes me feel like you're gonna hurt me, you're gonna get mad, and you're gonna say something that's gonna hurt my feelings if I accidentally upset you. And so no matter what mood you are in, I don't care what kind of day you've had, this honestly is not okay. I would rather someone tell me, hey, honestly, I've had a rough day, this and that happened, or it's just not a good day for me. I just kind of want to be all to myself. And, I would rather somebody be upfront of the mood that they are in versus just sitting like everything's normal. And then when you come at them, you don't know that they have minds planted inside the ground and they blow up at every little thing, instead of just being out front and saying, okay, this is a rough day for me, so can you just, I need some time to think and relax. And so anyway, like I said, it's not okay hurting people intentionally in conversations because you think they meant something to you. It's not okay. So honestly, conversation should not be like a minefield, especially with Christians. With the person or people, talking to us carefully, you shouldn't have to feel where you have to be super careful about what you say with this person and strategically planning out your words because you're afraid you're going to offend somebody. If I have to be in a situation or conversation like that, I feel like I'm taking a test. I don't want to feel like I'm in a job interview. In fact, worse than a job interview, where I could actually get hurt in this conversation. So if people feel like they have to take a test with you and answer the right, like they're constantly being grilled and quizzed and interviewed, or, just interrogated actually, and then you blow up, they're not going to want to talk to you. They're not going to get joy from seeing you, and they're going to probably try to avoid you, or at least avoid talking to you. Now, if they do speak to you, it might be because, they still love you, or if you're in their life, but they're not going to be open with you. The conversations aren't going to be meaningful. They might talk about, because with certain people, you can only talk about specific topics with that person. This, that, or that, and that's it. Because when it gets outside of that, they're so close-minded and they don't want to hear what you want to say, and they get mad at the slightest little thing. And now you are having to deal with extra stuff that you never made. You were just trying to talk. But because, you don't know how to carefully go about that kind of topic, you can't talk about it with that person. This is right here. That's what destroys relationships, or at least damages them. Because you're making people not feel where they can be approachable to you. You can't be approachable. They can't talk to you. They can't be open with you. And they have to put up a wall or a guard or even a mask. And they can't be themselves. Now, beautiful relationships and friendships require everything 1 Corinthians chapter 13 mentions. And I would recommend that you read it. How love is patient. Love is not kind. Love is kind. I'm sorry. Love is kind. Love is not boastful. Love holds no records of wrong. Love, it doesn't get easily offended. All these different things about loving somebody. And as believers, we should display what love is. When we say we love somebody, whether a sibling, a cousin, a romantic partner, anything, that we are not walking in offense and even being a word police. Don't try to catch what people say in conversations every single time. Don't make conversations a minefield. And that's honestly, as Christians, children of God, that is unacceptable, and it has to stop. You need to go ahead and get healing and give to God what you're really upset about, so you're not making your conversations a minefield. You're not walking at a fence. You're not making people uncomfortable and scared to talk to you. Reach out to God and give him that, because at the end of the day, that's what the issue is. Little reactions come from little actions. Big reactions come from big actions. So for a minefield, is pow! There was a deep, big, explosive, dangerous mine buried deep under the ground. So that explosion did not come out of nowhere. It was something else that's probably buried deep in the surface that you did not see. So the other person that's coming into your conversation and talking to you into your life is the minefield. That's why your conversations are a minefield. So that person is walking up to you thinking everything's okay. Pow! Pow, pow. They don't know that you dealt with this as a child. They don't know that you struggle with this at work. They don't know that this person died in a car accident and that person you love, and that day they died, and so you're upset that day. They don't know what mine you have buried under your ground. So we need to dig it up. We need to unbury it. We need to exhume it and give that mind to God. Give everything to God. Let him heal you. Let him take it, because burying it is not going to help you, and it will come out. And if you're not careful, it will come out to the people that you love, and therefore, nobody wants to talk to me. People don't want to do this. Nobody tells me anything. This and that, that and that, that and that. Well, the reason why that person won't talk to you anymore is because, again, they stepped on a mine that you had and you didn't tell them about. In fact, you yourself, you might have even forgotten that there was a mine there. You don't know, because that whole field is yours. You're the one blowing up. But you may not see it as that serious, but the person you're blowing up on, they're the ones that get badly injured. They're the ones that are dealing with that unseen hazard. So it comes to them as a surprise. They didn't see it coming. With that minefield in that conversation, as children of God, we cannot let small unintended things that people say easily offend us, especially if they're not trying to offend us. If they're not trying to hurt us, they're not trying to, say anything to tick us off. Why would you use it, catch it, and not let it go? If people are trying to back it off and let it go, let them. That's something God is teaching me now. That if that person says, never mind, okay, and I just dismiss it, I let it go, because if they're ready to shut it down, okay, I don't want to make you mad, never mind. Let it go. Don't hold on to it and make it a war. Some people, no, I want to hear what you got to say. No, we used it. No, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Apparently, this is getting a bit too much for me, this conversation. So let's just let it go. Let it go and just maybe talk about it later if it's that serious. If it's, some topics are serious, I get that. But sometimes you need to be in the right headspace to approach things with love in a peaceful way in a God-like manner. If we're getting out of our kingdom character, the child of God that God has made us to be, if we're getting out of the character that Jesus demonstrated for us to have, we need to just stop, get that clear headspace, go to God about it, and then reapproach it when everything is more peaceful and everything is better. So, again, don't disrupt anybody's peace. You're not going to have peace until you get those minds out of your field. It would be, don't you think it would be better? Because some people, I'm just going to let you know, they will start seeing a danger sign with you. They will say, oh, that person gets mad too easily. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to talk to him. He get mad too much. They do too much. And so that person, you will wonder why they don't even come in your field. Because they'll let others know. And next thing you know, you have barbed wire around your field. Whenever you blow up easily and keep blowing up and keep blowing up and keep doing it, they're going to say, you know what? That person's mean. That person hurt my feelings. I don't want to talk to them. It's too hard. It's too dangerous. And next thing you know, you have a dangerous red sign with mines, and people are going to stay away from you. And you're going to wonder, do I look mean? What's going on? Well, if it happens this amount of time with certain people, you may not do it with every single person, but the people you do it to, somebody's going to see it. If not that person themselves, the next thing you know, people want to stay away from you because they feel like you're going to hurt them and disrupt their peace. And as Christians, we should be experiencing the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, because we cast all of our cares unto God and truly cast it to God. Make sure you're actually casting your cares to God. If you're worrying about it still, you're not casting it to God. And this is what God has been working on me on. God has been letting me know, when you pray about that bill, when you pray about having enough money, when you pray about that person, when you pray about this, when you worry about it, you're taking it back from God. In fact, you're not even true. You didn't plan on giving it to God, because why pray and still worry? Why say, God, I trust you. I want you to help me, and you still worry? That's like asking someone to pick you up, and you call them and you say, hey, you're going to pick me up, and this person's never let you down ever. They have been there, in fact, early. They knew you got out at 3. They were waiting out in the parking lot at 2:45. So all you had to do was simply walk outside and get in the car with them, and they took you where you needed to go. No questions asked. They didn't bother you. They were always there for you, and they got you to your place safely. That's God. God has always been in the parking lot for us. He has never left us hanging. We might feel like, well, I prayed for this and God didn't bless me, or I prayed for that person and this didn't happen. Well, if it didn't happen, it wasn't in God's will, and it's not what you needed. So again, like I said, just cast it to God and trust God. Let's trust God to pick us up on time. Let's trust everything. And then when you let that person, I guarantee they're the first person you call to pick them up. You don't call on someone who was there and then they say, oh, actually, I didn't realize I had to work this late shift, I won't be there. Or someone who's always late. You're not going to call them. You're not going to trust them. I can see you worrying about that person. I can see you, if you tell them that you need to be picked up and they didn't show up, or they were late, or something happened, or they act like you owed them after that. I can see you worrying about it. But that's people. We call them God. That's the person who's always there for you. So you get in the car, you don't even worry. You just know they're going to pick you up, and you just know everything's taken care of. All of our problems, all of our minds, everything, when we give it to God, bearing it is not going to help us. But giving it to God and truly believing that He is going to bless us, He's going to handle it. Don't worry about it. It's hard. You have to rebuke the devil, and the devil is so slick. The devil will try to come back and place thoughts of discouragement inside of your head and make him think it's you. But what if you know you need that bill? What if they repo your car? What if that person does this? What if that, what if you get fired? All this comes up. And so you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to be concerned. I have to be scared. No, you prayed about it. All things work together for the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purposes. Play that in your mind over and over. Replace those negative thoughts with scripture. Hold the Bible and read His word every time. You got to fight those thoughts. And those aren't even your thoughts. Those are the devil. That's him and the demons trying to make you worry and not trust God and think, actually, He's been there every time. But what if he gets in a car accident? What if he falls asleep and misses the alarm? What if the car breaks down? What if he just lets you down? And trying to make you question God. Nothing but the devil. Again, I did not mean to make this video so long, but the Holy Spirit, thank God, just spoke through me. So hopefully this helps somebody. And take care. Don't be a minefield. Give all your cares to God.